into the other information that should probably go into
and
that.
Skinner, to that point, Skinner has unfortunately been overplayed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody makes fun of the
Freebird and
play some Skinner, man.
I can't tell you how many gigs through the years.
You know,
almost every gig. Freebird.
You can't even walk into any piano bar without them wanting Freebird played.
yeah. It's not their fault. I mean,
I've heard
it's just
Freebird at too many funerals.
you know, it's a powerful song. It's just been played over and over. But hey, you know, that's a good problem to have if you're a
It
band.
belongs perfectly at the end of a Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah,
And that's where it should stay.
it's a classic song, that's for sure.
they've both been used by Zombie.
Yes, they have.
In that same soundtrack.
Yes, they have.
I would say I always look at things more as a music store billboard person, but I'd have to say that Lynryd Skynyrd has more hits.
Well, obviously they do.
I don't
Because
think so.
what I said,
Billboard wise, they do.
what the point I made is if they would have had more time with Dwayne.
Sure, but they had a lot of time with some other great
Now,
people.
let me tell you something. That's why I cleared my throat. Because Warren Haynes is fucking phenomenal.
I love Warren.
And
I look at them as
I am a Warren Haynes diehard.
I look at them as when Dwayne Allman died and all those different guitar players came in, the band totally changed.
It did.
But
It did.
I will have to say, I don't know of very many, if any, groups that have 4 big-time guitar players that have played in that band over the decades. You have, if you go into the Rolling Stone, Dwayne Allman's ranked in the top 3 guitar players of all time. Warren Haynes is number 23. Dickie Betts is number 58. He's a little newer to the band, but Derek Trucks is ranked 81. You have 4 guitar players. They're in the top 100 guitar players. I don't know any other band that has that. And that is huge to me.
Well, make it up from metal.
The 4 guitar players.
Because Dave and Marty, and there's been a million great players there.
Yeah, but they come and go. They're not on there
Yeah.
at some time. Usually, somewhat, all 3 of those guys basically are on the bands together.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
that's
know,
impressive.
you're talking about several guitar players. You know, you got to give Skinner credit for the 3 guitar riffs. You know, that dynamic with 3 guitars going at one time.
yeah, they can.
I mean,
do
it's
that.
phenomenal.
Yeah, those guys. There's, you know, they each kind of did some other bands other than Skinner or Allman. You know, Rosendale and those guys. I mean, you know, from Warren Haynes and Governor Mule and all that other stuff. So I mean, and that's another big thing with any band. I mean, if you got almost some big successful bands that came from a band like that, that's impressive too, and that shows you there was a lot of talent there to be able to go out on their own. So
The first time I saw Primus in Cincinnati at the Taft Theater, the next night Government Mule was there, and I wish we could have stayed the night.
Have you ever seen Government Mule?
No.
oh, they're
I fucking love him.
great.
I love Government Mule.
Yeah, it's a great time.
I have a bootleg of the of a show from Dark Side of the Mule,
Oh, we went and saw that.
Yeah.
and speaking of Dark Side of the Moon, getting off on a tangent, Dream Theater did Dark Side of the Moon live, and they did an excellent job.
I'll have to check that out.
All right.
Anything else you need to say about your verses?
No, I just I love them both, but I do Allman definitely.
Yeah. So, what are you gonna say about Allman Brothers? I guess.
I mean, it's now don't get me wrong, I love Skinner, and it was really a tough choice for me personally, because there are a lot of Skinner songs that I genuinely love in my soul, and it all come down to, for me, it's Allman Brothers all the way, and it came down solely from 2 points. Warren Haynes, because I love Warren Haynes. And Warren Haynes loves Jackie too, by the way. No, for real. I got pictures to prove. I smell pretty.
Warren Haynes probably loved many women.
Well, he's about my height, and he is just the sweetest, most down-to-earth guy there is. And he'll stand there after a show, and he's on stage the whole time, and he will stand there and talk to you for hours, you know, until he's ready to fall over. And we've had the pleasure of meeting him and having pictures made with him and conversating with him for a couple hours at a time on several occasions. And he was the second biggest factor of why I would pick the Allman Brothers. The first biggest factor is, I'm married to Sam Porter. Has anybody heard the Soul Biscuits?
Yeah.
Yeah, they mimic those guys a lot.
The Soul Biscuits played a lot of Allman Brothers, and they did it flawlessly, and my husband still plays a lot of those, and they mean something to me. That was the start of us, and a lot of years.
If I would have thought, I would have brought my vinyl copy, my Japanese vinyl copy of Brothers and Sisters.
That's a good one. But, that's a lot of years I have wrapped up into that music and those lyrics, and I can see it in my head, and I have to go Allman Brothers all the way.
Yeah. Is that it for you?
Yep.
Well, I have a little bit of information I wrote down about each band. It's
I knew you were going to take the
I do that
information
every time.
in. So
I'm a record store owner. I'm a Billboard, Rolling Stone guy. I like the facts.
I knew I could just be emotional about it because you was going to do the research.
I always
Well,
do.
we're obviously music fans.
Now, when I really want to argue with him, though, and debate with him, I do my research. But something like the Allman Brothers, that's just emotional for me, so I can't give you more than that.
Yeah. When Skinner first started, they were able to put out 5 albums and 1 live album before the plane crash of '77. Obviously, that changed that band forever. They basically did a few other albums, but they were really reformed back in '87.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone has them ranked 95 out of the 100 greatest bands. They did make the Hall of Fame in 2006. So they're a Hall of Famer, which puts them in an elite group. They had 14 studio albums, 6 live albums, 23 compilations. That's pretty impressive in itself. Sold 30 million records. And that was just back like in the 90s, so they've obviously sold more than that. To give you a comparison, I think from what we were saying, that's 30 million albums, but we talked about Rob Zombie one time, and he had only sold 15 million. That's half. So if that kind of gives you an example of how bigger they are than some other folks. Their best album by far was Pronounced Lynryd Skynyrd. I believe that was their first album. Actually.
Yes, it was.
That was theirs. It's interesting, like I said, both these guys, both groups are from around Jacksonville, Florida area.
They're similar in so many ways.
Yeah, so many ways. They formed at the same time.
They have a lot of people.
Yeah, and they both had a lot of
Tragedy.
tragic death on both sides of the, from all the Lynyrd Skynyrd and the crash, and but you also had, Dwayne Allman. You had Barry Oakley,
and
killing
almost
himself.
a year to the day later.
And so there's a lot of tragedy for both bands, and for them to keep going through all that is a miracle in itself. Now the Allman Brothers, they're pretty much known for their '71 live at the Fillmore East. It is said by Rolling Stone and many others as maybe one of the greatest live albums of all time. That's impressive.
Well, you've got Eat a Peach.
Yeah, but that album
the
there
Live at the Fillmore
is,
I would say, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorites actually. And I think when you talk about any live album, that's going to be one of the first 2 or 3 albums anybody's going to list. They're also a Hall of Famer. They were in Hall of Fame in '95. And here's another big swear for me. I'm like I said, I'm a big Billboard, Rolling Stone type person. They are ranked 52 out of 100. That's quite a bit higher than Skinner. And also, they're Grammy winners. They won the Grammy for Best Instrumental Performance for Jessica. They also had a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2002. Those three factors right there put this band way better than Skinner to me in my eyes.
It's not easy to get that Lifetime Award.
And the other thing I did not really think about until I did this was the 4 guitar players that played for Allman Brothers. 4 of the top 100 greatest guitar players played with the Allman Brothers. I don't know another band like that.
I mean, just to have that behind
Yeah,
you
that
on
is
your resume.
massively impressive to me. They did 12 studios, but they're always known for more of their live albums. They did 16 live albums.
One at the top, I think, on the live.
Yeah, and 18 compilations. So I mean, that's very impressive. So I think without a doubt, other than I do think Lynyrd Skynyrd gets more airplay, is more known on the radio and stuff like that. But Allman Brothers has more talent. And there's a lot on Skinner too, but they are more talented. They're ranked higher in a lot of the
Allman Brothers
stuff.
I think is more bluesy, and Skinner is more rock.
Yeah, kind of.
You know.
Yeah,
maybe,
I can see that a little bit
maybe
too.
one of the technical
Yeah.
differences.
Yeah, and all those live albums. I mean, you can just it makes it a lot easier on a band when they sit there and they record multiple shows. And they can pick out all those things, and these guys are known for their jam bands type style, so it makes it a lot easier to pull out all those great moments on stage to put out, and it works.
And you know, one of the great things about jam bands is no 2 shows are the same. I don't care how much they practice, because when they get in that mode and they get in that jam, you're never going to have that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've watched it, and it's phenomenal, and it's like one of those moments you're praying you're recording or something at that moment.
Yeah, I'm sure they learned at an early time. We record everything with those guys because, I mean, anybody could be on fire that night, and
yes.
After learning, hey, the Fillmore recording was one of the greatest of all time. How in the hell would you not be recording everything they do? Because obviously, they got 16 live albums, so they've done that a lot, and, it works. When you're a jam band, that's some of your greatest moments you're going to have, so, and it's worked. So I've definitely said the Allman Brothers won this one by far, so.
Tim Ginn, he says, both great bands, but I'm going with the Allman Brothers. Sam, I stand corrected. I do know you played some Skinner, but there's really no comparison to the Allman Brothers you played.
That's always a good thing.
Or at least the Allman Brothers maybe hit a chord with me more so.
Yeah.
Greg Allman was awesome in the movie Rush.
Yeah.
That was my favorite movie.
That is a great movie. Yeah, great movie, Rush.
And he never had much to say.
No.
He didn't have to say much.
No.
He's kind of just had that, I think, got that aura about him, you know?
Hey, you married Cher, too.
Yeah,
so.
he just look at you with head cocked sideways, and you wonder if you got a check behind you.
I mean, Cher had a kid.
Yes,
together.
Elijah Blue.
Elijah Blue.
Yep. So, yeah, there's other little side bits that are a little more interesting with Allman Brothers, too. So, yeah, cool. So, I'd say pretty much hands down Allman Brothers this week. So.
Are you disagreeing, Yanni?
No.
We got Yanni in the house.
I know, man.
Look, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Leave me alone.
Isn't that a singer or something, Yanni?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Married to Linda Evans from Dynasty.
Really?
He's got longer hair than her. So.
That mustache might be longer than her.
Man, those chicks dug him back in the 90s, I'll tell you.
He ain't no Magnum.
King
You cut that hair, you almost look like Magnum, though. Damn. I tell you.
Matt and me were working on that Grateful Dead.
Yeah, keep on working. So.
Mike's
Alright.
gonna call in sick one day.
I'm just really giving you shit. That was funny. I was playing some Grateful Dead the other day, and Teen walked in and goes,
You were?
yeah, I listened to them. I just give you guys crap about it. And she made me turn it off. So she didn't want to listen to it.
Because he just kept playing it and playing it and playing it, and I can only take so much.
What was he
Grateful
playing?
Dead. I don't remember what songs.
What were you playing?
I can't remember what. I always love the Devil song, and
Yeah.
I just try to listen to some of their bluesy stuff
The
when I
Devil
do.
song.
Yeah.
Friend of the Devil?
Yeah.
You know that devil one.
Well,
Really?
that's their most popular song.
Matt
so,
says I'm still waiting.
Were you listening to a live version or a studio?
I was just listening to Spotify on some of their different stuff.
And actually, speaking of the Fillmore, that's one of my favorite recordings is Grateful Dead's Fillmore.
Well, I like
in the
that,
70s.
I like that jam band live stuff, like Allman's and stuff. I'm sitting out by the fire, and we were out in the fire last week, and I just put it on and listened
I just don't know how people could not listen to that. I don't know how people could listen to the Grateful Dead and just not be happy.
Well, let me tell you why.
Yeah, I do.
When I ran my music stores, my impression of the Grateful Dead was a bunch of drugged out people that wanted to get fucked up when they went to Deer Creek for a show. And that wore on me
Well,
massively.
you and I had this talk, and this was the newer Grateful Dead. When it became, Truckin' came out, probably, things like that. That was,
Truckin' came out in 73.
I know that, but I meant came back out into the radio.
Yes.
It was early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
And you can't judge the Grateful Dead from the twisted people who just want to party in a parking lot.
Well, in the 90s, though, I'm telling you, that's
It's
all
so
it was.
much more.
That's
than that.
all it was. I mean, these people, if nothing else, if you look at that way, then they tarnished the Grateful Dead's name, because in the 90s, tearing down the fences again at Deer Creek, or everybody that was... I'd go over to the
I got some
Anderson
metal
McDonald's,
concerts
they'd
that
steal all the
I was
ketchup
worried I was going to
so
come
they
out
could make
alive.
tomato soup. I mean, just stupid things like that. And I think it kind of tarnished their name pretty bad in the 90s. And that's when I was in the music store business, was 90 to, 2010 at least, and all that. And that's all you would hear. Hey, let's go trip out and get
Well,
fucked
here's
up.
where I'm
at
going
that
to hit
show.
a nerve. I don't
So-
think they tarnished the Grateful Dead's name. I think they tarnished your view of the Grateful Dead's name.
Hey,
Well,
goes hand in hand.
I see where he's coming from.
I do too. We
Like-
had this conversation,
Like,
and I get it.
he
But
probably...
there's so much more to them.
He's probably gonna have the same view of, like, ICP or shit like that.
Yeah, I do. I understand because, there's a
I
lot.
think they're
There's a lot of people that
No, Elvis
don't
kill
live by
me.
the music; they live by the lifestyle. And it happens to a lot of bands, and to me, that was my impression of the Dead for a real long time. I do enjoy their music. I love the earlier bluesy stuff, like we've talked about. But I'm just telling you, they're not one of my favorite bands. I would pick the Allman Brothers 10 times full before I listen to the Grateful Dead. But I respect them, and I do like their music.
He's a work in progress.
So, that's the way it is. I'm kind of a blues nut, anyways, and I like the early blues stuff. So,
And we agree to disagree because I don't like Van Hagar. He don't like Grateful Dead. So we kind of hit a medium there.
it's all right. So,
I was listening to,
And I don't like Rush either.
you go straight down. I was, speaking of Van Halen, I was listening to, For All Carnal Knowledge this week.
yeah, that's a good album.
Yeah, it is.
And you will be surprised with one of my top 10 probably.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. I'm telling you, I could have wrote 50 of them down, but. All right, well, let's get into the music news.
Matney says, see, this would be a great show. You guys are already debating. And then Ralph Hoover.
I probably would, because I'm telling you, I'd probably rip a lot of it apart, and these guys would be crying by the time the
Oh,
show's
no. Because this girl knows her facts when it comes to the Dead.
All right. Well, let's get some of the news. I did go through some new releases this week. We actually have some for once. I will try to get a little bit better with this, but man, I'm telling you, the music business, there's no concerts. There really isn't that many new releases here lately, so, we really dig a lot of stuff up just to have the shows. I will tell you a couple things if some people are following right now. This will be the smart time to be, because I'm going to start a couple different avenues on the page here in the next few weeks. I want to start doing a music review segment earlier in the week, not on Sunday, for us to do of new releases, to review the albums. I did that for local newspapers and different other sites for a long time, so I'm thinking about doing that, or having maybe having a record store do it with one of our friends, either from Karma or Monkey Jack or somebody do it, something like that. And the other one, I am getting hit up really hard by a lot of local bands right now all over the country, and some of these guys are really talented, and I think I'm going to start doing a local talent or a review and have some music playing on the site of some bands that we're kind of trying to help promote a little bit and giving them a little chance to shine on the site. Those are some things that are going to be coming up here real soon. We're working on.
That already.
Well, no, I actually have people. I had a guy from California that kind of went round and round with me about helping promote his band and stuff, and it's a good band. And I was like, man, maybe we should try to take the opportunity to give these guys a little time and do it on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, not Sunday, and add a little more zest to the page. And I think we're going to end up doing that now. So a new release segment and a local talent kind of segment. And we're going to kind of be diving into that a little bit more as we go, I think. So we'll get into that. But some new releases this week and last week that are pretty popular. I mean, you had the Rolling Stones Go Ahead Soup Deluxe Edition. Obviously, a lot of people are digging that with the Jimmy Page song they dug out of the archive and stuff like that. You had the Metallica S&M 2. Very impressive with a San Francisco orchestra. Blu-ray of that is really nice. So you got all those options for that. Kyle's favorite artist, Katy Perry, came out with a new album, Smile.
There's a new Black Sabbath record.
Yes.
Hey, you want to give me a second? You're like an old woman. You never get to finish what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, I'm still waiting on you to hit mine too, so.
Jeez.
You bump up like as slow as an old woman.
Whatever. So yeah, you got her. I guess her and Orlando had a big baby this week
Yes.
too. That was,
Yeah, baby girl, Daisy Dove.
yeah.
She has impressive milkers, and she's built like a brick shit house.
She's got big eyes.
I am paying much attention to her eyes.
I bet not.
I like kitties.
They got a pretty smile.
Me too.
All right, Fleetwood Mac put out their early collection of music from '69, '74. That's probably more of the Peter Green music and stuff like that they've been talking about. And lo and behold, did we pick it right or not? The Allman Brothers came out with a new album called Bless Your Heart. All new music, so you got something by the Allman Brothers actually out. Zach Sabbath, which Kyle pre-ejaculated on like he normally does.
He can't control it.
Patti Smith, she's got a new album out.
Why?
She's a legend. Tricky, everybody, there's a lot of fans of that guy. He's got a lot of stuff. Here's another one of Kyle's favorites, Tim McGraw. He's got a new album out as well.
Fucking hate
He's smoking life.
The Killers, they got something, Bright Eyes. This is a good alternative group I grew up on. Guided by Voices, I always like their stuff. You got Phil from Pantera's In Minor that came out this week. That's pretty cool stuff and something different kind of style.
I got to watch Noel.
And our friends from Void King, they put out their album on vinyl this week. You can get that online. Some good guys, Jason Kendra, Chris Carroll, those guys are really good guys. So we like to see you have some success with that. And that's really about it for the last couple weeks on new releases. So
We watched Nolan. It was fabulous.
oh yeah, that
And
quarter century throwdown. and
yeah,
all
he
that.
looks so old, and he still looks so great.
Yeah, he's got a little gray in there now.
Sam
like
said
the
the
rest
only
of
reason
us.
I was being nice to him is because I got to watch Phil.
Yeah. Well, that was, I saw some of it. They've been posting some of it online. It's pretty good.
It was phenomenal. I loved every second.
He's still can wail. All right, we'll get into the new stuff. This week, like I said, some of the news stories have been kind of small. So we're going to start off with some of the birthdays and anniversaries. There's so many killers things. The older we get, the more and more of these things keep popping out. Starting with the birthdays here. Dave Brocky of Guar. Man, it's sad to see that guy gone right now. 57 years old, he would have been. I don't know about that. You got a lot of weird ones on here, Kyle. Rob Beach.
I didn't think he had a whole lot to choose from.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
It was kind of like a low week in the music.
Thank you,
industry.
Debbie, for putting this list together.
I put it on the fucking page.
I know, you're good.
But you mispronounced that. Reb Beach from Lynryd. And,
It says R-O-B. Rob
Well,
Beach.
she misspelled it.
Okay. Yeah, Wingers and White Snake, 57 years old. We got this. You want to pronounce the German gentleman from Scorpions?
Oh,
Rudolph
Schenker.
Schenker.
How can you not pronounce Rudolph Schenker?
No, I was just giving you the opportunity because every time I try to say a name, you're like, even though I say it right half the time, you always have to correct
No,
me.
you don't.
So
You sound like you got a cock covered in peanut butter in your
And you
mouth.
know what that sounds like, really?
sounds like Kyle.
That's basically what it sounds like.
Hold on. Van Morrison, 75.
Okay, you did that one right.
You sure?
You read it like Adam Sandler and what was that movie where he went back to school?
No,
Did I do this one right? Doug Pinnick?
Doug Pinnock.
Panic? That's what I said.
Pinnock.
See, he does this every time.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I know. King's X, 70 years old. Blackly Lawless.
And he still looks great for 70. I guess
Yeah, he does.
being black and gay does something for you.
Oh.
You had to go there,
Well,
didn't
he
you?
is black. It's fact that he is African American.
Well-
and he is a homosexual.
But we
So
don't
what?
need to say
he
that
looks-
in one sentence.
Oh, jeez.
He looks great.
Well, Blackie is a wasp, so he's 64. All right. Kim from Soundgarden, you want to say that one?
I forget his last name.
He's 60 years old. I actually thought he might have been a little older now. All right. Igor
Cavalleras.
Cavalera.
Cavalleras.
Okay, well, you misspelled it.
Ain't no S on it.
Sepultura, he's 50 years old. Brad Wilk, Rage Against the Machine, 52 years old. One of my favorites, Roger Waters, Pink Floyd, 77. I'll tell you, that guy still is incredible in concert when you see him. William Duvall, Allison James, 53.
Alice in Chains.
Well, you put Allison James on here.
She put Alice in James.
She's trying.
Because I thought that was weird, and I was like, what
I
the
think
fuck
she's
is
trying
that?
to decipher peanut butter mouth over
Yeah,
here.
I think so.
We got your back, Debbie.
I thought that was weird when I read it.
Alice in Chains, Debbie. I even texted you.
Well,
That's probably the problem.
yeah,
man.
it probably
Yeah.
got your peanut butter's throat and sent her Alice James.
Scott Travis, Judas Priest is 59. Let's see here. I saw this one this week. Oh yeah, we got that other one. Freddie King. This is funny. He put Freddie Kling, American blues guitarist.
You're gonna get him a
Shut
throat.
I'm gonna take pictures of these and post them on the site so everyone can see what I deal with here. One of the
I
greatest.
bet next week the list right in the middle of it will say, "Fuck you, Mike."
Yeah.
I just could not do it and let you sit here with your dick in the wind, motherfucker.
Yeah, I bet right in the middle of next week's list, I'm gonna have you a message.
This was one of the better ones we had because we had Kyle do a video of Freddie Mercury this week. It was his anniversary of his death. He actually looks
We're
just
having
like
too
Freddy,
much
actually,
fun
when
with
he-
Kyle on these videos.
Yeah, I know. We have a million of them. You guys don't even see half of them.
Because Kyle's face looks best on them all.
Oh,
They
man.
don't get no better than his face on them.
Oh, he's. We had him on Nicki Minaj.
He
this
blended
week.
That
so
was
well
not
on
Nicki
one of them.
Minaj.
I had to really look at
It
it to
was
see
her
it.
hit her ass and her boobs weren't big enough. That was not Nicki
Oh,
Minaj.
we had a
My
bunch of
favorite
them.
always be Madonna though.
Yeah, the Madonna one's great.
The Freddie Mercury one was good though.
Yeah, he matched up Freddie
Madonna
pretty
was
good.
best.
Yeah.
His teeth aren't big enough for Freddie.
I don't know. He had this mustache and everything going.
No, Freddie's teeth are way out there.
You know. He'd just lose a little more weight and wear those little fashy outfits. He'd look just like, I bet he'd get autographs. People that want his autograph. About guaranteed.
Show that hairy chest.
Oh, he's got that too. I'm telling you, he'd be like,
Get off me.
Notice he said it after I went all the way up his arm.
Alright, some anniversaries of albums and stuff. This will come into play on this new story. Lamb of God, Ashes of Wake was released 16 years ago. Mastodon, what's their album called?
Leviathan?
Leviathan, there you go.
You
16
can't
years.
say Leviathan.
I'm
He wants
just,
to hear you say
I just want to
this.
hear you say it. See if you say it right.
You had a record store and that record was big, motherfucker. Probably made some money
Right.
for you.
I'm not a big Mastodon fan. Motley Crue, Doctor,
Feel good.
31 years old. Rush, A Farewell to Kings is 43 years old. Molly Hatchet's debut self-titled album is 42. That's a good one.
Thank Molly Hatchet better.
Oh, fuck you.
The Ramones, Mondo Bizarro is 28. Styx, Pieces of 8 is 42. Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation is 43. That's an awesome one. Sepultura, Chaos AD 27. Let's see, Wilco. They're actually doing a deluxe edition, like a 20th anniversary coming up here. That's Summer Teeth. Judas Priest, Painkiller. That's one of their best albums ever. 30 years old.
Yes, it is.
Iron Maiden, Power Slave is 36. Rush, Roll the Bones. Man, that's a good comeback album, kind of from them. I thought they did a decent job of that. I actually got to meet them on that tour. 29 years old. Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory, 25.
I love that album.
Audio Slave, Revelations, 14. System of a Down, Toxicity, they're one of their greatest albums, 19 years old.
Really?
And I think one of the albums of the week, Soundgarden, Louder in Love is 31. Alice Cooper, Raise Your Fist and Yell, 33. And Judas Priest, Rocka Rolla. I like that cover too. 46 years old. So
The album itself sucks.
yeah, I like the cover of it. All right. Let's see. So this basically just happened. Anyways, Down reunited with Kurt to celebrate the 25th anniversary of their classic album.